I love a good roll and write. Give me a flip and write any day. And in this case, with en route, you get a stroll and write, which is a really lovely variation on a flip and write where you've got a dry erase board on a 6x6 grid of a city. And in this game, you get tons of cities with unique maps and unique cards that go with those cities. So you kind of have a lot here in this box. So I'm really just going to show you what's in the game and how it plays to see if this is right for you. So what I've got here is my first city. This is my map. You'll see here I've got my 1 to 6 in my grid. Now the coolest thing about this game, there's so many cool things, but this is one of the coolest features. Everybody has the same layout on their boards, but their number grid is going to be different. So there's numbers in the corner that tell you what your map is. And you'll see here, oh wait, this one does the numbering this way. The other players does the numbering down here. And then that last player is going to do the numbering down here like this. So even though all of the spaces inside of every single city board is the same, you're going to be selecting the same coordinates from 2 cards in the central display area. So players are going to be drawing their map in different places on their board, even though the locations are all the same. And that is one of the best design features of this game. So I'm playing with First City, which is the first fictional city, but then there are so many others. You've got your boards. When you flip over First City, you'll see on the back side of that is going to be Rio de Janeiro. And then you've got more cards that are, here's Cairo, very cool. On the back side of Cairo is Hong Kong. Then you've got your super cool open up'ems. This one has Paris on the one side. It's got London on the other side. And oh my gosh, check this out, New York on this super cool 1616. It's got twice the space. I mean, these boards are just so stinking amazing. So this is like every single one of those cities. Not only do you get the boards, you get the cards that match them. And you also, here, let me show you the cards. I've got stuff all over, but here are the cards. Rio de Janeiro, Cairo, Paris, Hong Kong, New York, and London. And you have this nice inset here. You've got your dividers and you've got everything for all your players. You also are going to have the corresponding city card here that identifies your historic buildings and your modern buildings. Here at Rio, you're doing your Carnival, Christ the Redeemer. I mean, this is just, there's the Statue of Liberty and Broadway. Paris, you've got, of course, those, noteworthy locations in Paris and London and Cairo. It also keeps track of your rounds, which is very helpful. This is just really, really well thought out. And I haven't even gotten to the gameplay. And the gameplay's clever. So I wanted to leave the cards unshuffled for now because you always have what are considered tourists. And you have one of 3 different kinds of tourists. So this one's going to be the tourists that are the square, green square shape. And players have these colored markers that go along with those. And it also has the note of what one of your 2 axes is. So your coordinates, 1 to 6. This is going to be one example. Here's some other tourists. These are going to be those red circle tourists. And again, your value is going to be 1 to 6. And then I've got the, here's your blue triangles. So this one only has 1 and it's a coordinate 4. So this is going to be, those are your basics. Then you've got this card here that has a number in the corner and it says repeat. Repeat twice 1 tourist from the other card. So it allows you to get more of that particular type and it might just be exactly what you're looking for with the actual value. So these are going to be those cards that are in your basic tourist, either repeats or one of those 3. And then you're going to add the cards that say at the bottom, your particular city choice. And it's going to have some kind of special location. This is going to be either the Skywatcher Observatory, the Television Tower, or School of Illusion and Pottery. Like this guy right here. Look at this. And they have, of course, their symbol and their coordinates. So for each of your locations, let's say we're playing right now with the first city because we have everything out for first city. We are just simply going to shuffle all of these together, and then we're going to put them into our draw pile. Okay, so now that I've got the cards all shuffled up, all you need to do is deal out 3 cards to every player. And in this case, I'm going to deal myself 3 cards here, another opponent 3 cards here, and then another third opponent 3 cards. Because the way that you are going to select is very, very interesting. In the very first round of a 3 or 4 player game, and then also the second round for a 4-player game, players are not necessarily going to have the kind of struggle or choice that comes with the rest of the game. So I'm going to pretend like we are in round 2 of a 3-player game because this is what every other round is going to look like. And so I want to give you a feel for the strategy and the choice that the active player gets. So we're going to, as it says here in our round order, we're going to, for the first player, place one of their cards face up. And this is going to be something that they want to have one of their coordinates for. So it looks like a 2, a 4, and a 3 with an activation of the School of Illusion and Pottery. And so this is kind of like the zone. It's going to be somewhere around here for my 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to be drawing routes, and I'm going to be drawing tourists on my turn. And we have 10 turns to do this before we create a route that then scores with all of these different scoring opportunities. So I pick one. Let's say I want to pick the School of Illusion and Pottery with a 3 and a square. That's going to be one of the coordinates for sure. I play my cards down here. Now each of my fellow players is going to then decide which one of the 3 cards they want to play, and they'll essentially place them to the side, face down, until they've both decided and they've both said, these are the cards that I want to play. And then they're going to reveal these cards, and it looks like Television Tower, School of Illusion and Pottery, and then a 3 and a 6. So what's going to happen is it's going to come back to the active player, and they're going to pick one of these 2 to pair with the 3 to create your coordinates of either a 3-3 or a 3-6 or a 3-6, which means that when you have 2 different numbers, you've got 2 different coordinates. So what do I want to do? The 3-3 would let me start here at the triumphal arch, which would be great because I could maybe start with the coffee cup. I could get a 6-pointer. I could work my way around to the School of Pottery. Let's do it. So I have selected to not keep this card. What happens with the card that's not selected is I put it in the bottom of the draw pile, not in the discard pile, and then these are the 2 coordinates that everyone has to do. So let's go back to that reference card. The second players to the left and right place one face down, then reveal the cards, place one next to yours, and discard the other. We just did that. Now we're going to mark the rating upgrades, if any, announce the numbers and the types of tourists. So that means we get to mark on this board over here, yes, we got one more in Television Tower, and we got one in the School of Illusion and Pottery, which means now that if you have a route that goes by any of these, they get more and more valuable the more they get selected by players. So I need to get to the School of Illusion and Pottery and also Television Tower. You can tell these are the gray ones right here. Really, really nice iconography. So at this point, I say we've got 1 circle and we've got 1 square. Those are going to go into the 3-3 section. So let's draw a circle in the arch, circle, and then I've got my green square, and these are the tourists that went to that particular location. And now I get to draw my lines. This is going to be the drawing phase. Take your turn. Select a location, mark tourists, chart the route, gain cafe bonuses, if any. So the choice that I get is I can have 2 lines connected to each other, one of which is required to be along the edge of the section that I just chose. So the coordinates were 3, 3. I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to draw 1 along this line and then 1 along this line. Now, for example, I could have drawn something like this. I could have drawn 1 line here and then just 1 line continue going straight, or I could have gone to this direction. But now I have, if I keep this, I've got 6 points banked because I have passed by this on one of the 4 sides. And I also have gone by the School of Pottery, which is great because then it can grow in victory points. And I started my route going from this direction here. I could have easily drawn my line this direction. You can go in L shape, but you'll get 2 as long as one of them is along the side of the coordinates you picked. Now, if you want to, you can always just place 1 anywhere you want. Just 1 though, and it means that you're going somewhere else because you couldn't get to where you wanted to go. But this allows you to activate essentially more lines that gets you more distance because you will theoretically only get to play 20 legs or segments of your route unless you get to this bonus coffee cup that lets you draw 1 more. So that's going to be your kind of bonus, which is hard to get to. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So that's the round. That's me. I did my drawing. My fellow players are doing the same thing. We're all playing at the same time. Cafe bonuses are going to be in that coffee cup. And so you get some that are immediate. And you'll see this has an immediate symbol. You get a circle and a square in the same place that you just drew. And you'll see that these have modifiers of a +1, -1 that you can add to in future turns. This is an extra leg. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Then there's the upkeep phase. Discard the 2 cards that were chosen, draw up to 3, flip the reference card because you were essentially first, and now you're gonna be not first. So we take these, we put them over here. I'm going to draw up a card, and then up a card. Now, in the very first round, players are going to be able to pick the 2 cards they want out of the 3 if it's a 3 and 4 player game. And in the second round, it's going to be the same thing for a 4 player game because you want to make sure that every player gets to lead or decide equal number of turns compared to all the other players. And again, very thoughtful design choice for en route. Now, there's some other things going on here. The first thing you're going to see are these cards out here. And these cards are going to be your goals. Now, you don't have to play with goals. There are a variety of goals you can pick from, and you're just going to be picking 1 A goal, 1 B goal, 1 C goal, and if you accomplish it, you're going to receive points, and if you're the best to accomplish it, you're going to get more points than other players. So, for example, this unexpected turn says 10 plus the total number of turns on the route. If you do it, you get 9. If you do it the best, meaning you have more turns than everyone else, and it's 10 or more, you get 17. So it's a really great way to get some bonus points. They're not required. It does make the game more complex. And then there's another thing, our personal objectives. Personal objectives says include any of the 2 that you see here of those particular crossroads in your final route. Gain stars or victory points equal to the number of route sections between them. So if you do this one, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And you connect them, 11 points. Really, really cool. So you get personal objectives. You can also get your goal cards. There's another way to kind of help players along is to give them this +1, -1 that they get to use once per game. They get to change the coordinate by 1 for yourself and then discard it. So it gives younger players or novices a chance to kind of have that extra boost. It's just like this cafe coffee cup that you can use. So this is just First City. This is what it looks like and how you play each round with that selection, because players are putting out the coordinates that they really want and it may or may not get selected. And so the active player has a lot of choice and they get, it's just really, really nice, I would say, the choice that they get. And so when you're not the active player, sometimes you're kind of crossing your fingers hoping for the player to choose what you want them to choose. So there are so many cities like the maps I showed you before with the cards that come in the particular tourists. You're going to have this goal card right here and just so much to enjoy. This game is really, really clever. At the end of the game, you're going to be adding up all those points. Did you meet the goals? Did you go beside all of these yellow spaces? For each one, you get those number of victory points. If you crossed over any side of those, you're going to get the points based on the check mark value. If you didn't use any coffee cups, they're 2 points each. If you made it to 2 of the hands, the intersection of the hands, you'll get 12. If you made it to all 3, 24. If you made it to 1, it's none. So this is a really great one to go for 24 big points. This is going to be your personal objective. And then the other really big important thing in the game is that you want to cross past the green spaces for multipliers towards the green tourists that you have found in different locations. And so these are going to be multipliers of the space itself. Looks like I had a little gooby there. But the space itself is this times the people. And so that can be really, really, really high. And then everything added together, that's going to be the game. And of course, you got 10 rounds to do it. So clever. A stroll and write game en route. Just a delightful find for me. Again, it fits right into my collection and the potential or the possibilities of so much replay with all the different cities, the different goals. Endlessly just delicious with its choices and with the gameplay. So a lot to like here. Check it out. It is available right now. Kickstarter backers are getting theirs, but this is also in retail. So it is available right now. All right, everybody. I'll see you later.